In February 1959, 9 young hikers set out on what was supposed to be an exciting winter expedition into the frozen Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. Days later, they vanished. When rescuers finally found their camp, it was abandoned. Their tent had been slashed open from the inside. What happened that night on the Dyatlov Pass remains one of the most chilling mysteries in history. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student. Alongside him were 8 others, 7 men and 2 women, all experienced outdoorsmen, all young and adventurous. They planned to ski 300 kilometers across rugged terrain. Every one of them was strong, resilient, and highly trained. None of them seemed unprepared for the dangers of the mountains. The hikers began their journey on January 27th. Along the way, one member, Yuri Yudin, fell ill and turned back. That decision saved his life. The others pressed on, recording their journey in diaries and photographs. Their final entries showed smiles, laughter, and optimism. It was the last anyone would ever hear from them. When the group failed to return, families grew worried. On February 26th, a search party located their tent high on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, the mountain of the dead. The tent was torn open from the inside. Inside lay clothing, shoes, food, untouched. Whatever forced them out into the night made them leave behind everything. The first 2 bodies were found near a cedar tree, barefoot, dressed only in underwear. They had burns on their skin, as though they had tried to build a fire. 3 more were found between the tree and the tent, frozen in the snow as if crawling back. Weeks later, the remaining 4 were discovered in a ravine covered by several feet of snow. Their injuries shocked investigators. 1 woman's tongue was missing. Several had crushed ribs and fractured skulls. Injuries described as equal to a car crash. Yet, there were no signs of external wounds and no evidence of another person nearby. Explanations began to surface. Some claimed an avalanche forced the hikers to flee, but experts argue the slope was too shallow for such an event. Others suggested they were victims of Soviet military experiments, parachute mines, or secret weapons testing in the mountains. Then came stranger theories. Some say they were attacked by escaped prisoners or a wild animal, but the lack of footprints and the nature of the injuries cast doubt, and then the supernatural. That night, witnesses in nearby villages reported strange, glowing lights in the sky. UFO enthusiasts believe the hikers encountered something not of this world. Still others whisper about ancient curses tied to the mountain's name, Kholat Syakhl, the mountain of the dead. Decades later, the Dyatlov Pass mystery remains unsolved. Governments reopened the investigation in 2019, concluding that an avalanche was the cause, but many refuse to believe it. 9 young hikers fleeing barefoot into the snow, terrified of something we may never understand. Was it an accident, a cover-up, or something beyond human explanation? The mountain keeps its secret, and perhaps it always will.